Hey guys, it's Noah with Ask4Noah. I'm here with Mike Orta of the Mike Orta team, Remax Cornerstone. And for today's SBS, we have Damian with R&B. Damian, why don't you introduce yourself?
How's everyone doing? My name's Damian Vargas, owner of R&B Cafe, located on 381 North 8th Street.
Cheers.
Faith-based business owner, just trying to be a pillar in the community, be a guiding light, change the world.
Love it, love it. So, what do we got? We got, I got a mocha.
I got the
Ice.
cinnamon caramel ice
Yeah,
latte.
dude, that is slamming. This is slamming, but that, I'm not gonna lie, that was a good choice, Mike.
My favorite probably overall is cinnamon hazelnut blend. That shit's fire.
That'd be good.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah. My wife's allergic. So
Off camera, we had the Just Look at It.
Yes.
So we recommend that.
That and last.
That's a burrito, sausage, egg, and cheese burrito.
My favorite is the sweet. You still have the Sweet Victory?
Sweet Victory.
Yeah, with the
Lebanon sweet bologna.
Oh man, dude,
Peach cobbler is really nice.
Yeah,
that's
I
a-
usually get that.
Jay Frank's favorite. He used to come in here.
It's a turkey peach panini. Yeah.
So
He got egg on his before. It looked good.
So, you know, we got Damian here for SBS. We're here at R&B Cafe at the corner of 8th and Lehman. Me and Damian, I've known almost my whole life. We go way back. So, Damian, why don't we start off of, where you came from, and give us some light on that.
Heard. It all started back in 1992. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I
got it right here.
Right. I was born in Hershey Hospital, but my family from Lebanon, grandparents, they moved here from Puerto Rico about 50, 60 years ago.
Nice.
At one point, they were one of 4 Spanish families in the whole town of Lebanon. So you know how much that's changed in those years. I mean, now they're the majority. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just beautiful to see. I grew up playing at that playground right across the street here. This building was always empty. I mean, you know, it's basically always been empty our whole lives.
Side note, I actually own the building, so just to chime in on that of growing up.
Well, the only reason I rented here, I mean, I wanted to rent here, but one of the reasons I felt most comfortable is because my buddy Noah here owned it, so I knew I was getting a slumlord as an owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Nah,
landlord.
I love that you say that too, because it's cool that we have friends and community that own businesses now.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
crazy.
Like growing up, seeing that of you see it on TV shows and stuff of how.
Well,
oh,
I was just talking to, he was probably your basketball coach, Ted Thompson.
Teddy Thompson.
Today he was in here, chatted up. Jet was in here and stuff, and
Jet.
I was saying,
Nice.
I was saying it's crazy how all those people that went through crazy drama and stuff in their adolescent years are now the ones
leading the community.
and being a pillar to the younger generation to guide them up so they don't make the same mistakes. And me and Ted were talking about, I was like, that's the whole point of
Who better to do it?
becoming an adult.
Who better to do it than the ones that
walk through it.
made the mistakes,
Yeah.
had some trouble in their life. That's the best people that I believe that are good at being leaders.
Yeah.
Because they know it, they feel it. And you know what I mean?
The younger generation looks up to you guys.
Exactly. They understand.
And we're
it.
relatable yet because we're still young enough to tap into the older people. And
We're
the
right in the
younger-
middle, dude.
Yeah, we're right in the middle. So we have to take these years and lead up that next younger generation, which are the 15-year-olds, the 20-year-olds. So that way when they're the 30-year-olds and we're the 40, 50-year-olds, they're doing it.
They're connecting us.
Yeah, just like people didn't really do it for us though.
Yeah.
Which, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I don't want to,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if I do it,
It's your
Yeah.
coffee shop.
Yeah,
Man. We
Very.
want we want it.
Authenticity.
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, this is an open spot for authenticity. I'm faith-based, but all opinions matter here.
Dude,
That's
I'll
just
never forget. I don't know if you remember when I had bought the barbershop, right? Or BJ was.
Yeah.
The guy that I bought that from, man, what is his name? And I feel like an asshole right now, but he was faith-based. He was very strong in his belief and stuff like that, which was awesome. But he always said, I'm going to say, fuck you. I'm gonna say fuck you for Jesus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was like, whoa, man,
It's for Jesus.
That's definitely, you know what I mean. That called when I first met, I was like, oh, okay. You know,
I didn't realize there was 2 sides of that. Okay, it's okay to be real still.
Yeah, man. So
And it is like you said, authenticity is the most important word because a lot of people aren't living authentically, and it's a reason depression
Or
is
they're
such a
scared
big.
to.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
scared to because they don't want to get canceled. And it's like, sure, that's a real thing. There's a fine line between staying true to yourself and being an arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to navigate in there. You know what I mean?
No, and you hit it on the head of the whole cancel thing and all that other stuff. It's just that it's humanity's fear of not being wanted or liked. And I got like, you know, I know
we all want
struggle.
acceptance.
You know what I mean? That's like the epitome of being a human is like you want acceptance of your peers.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle. But you know, back to what you were saying. So your grandparents moved here. Your grandparents or great?
My grandparents.
Your grandparents moved
Yes.
here about 50, 60 years ago. They were one of 4 Hispanic families in the area, which is, if you're from Lebanon, know Lebanon, like that is awesome to like know and understand.
Yeah, just that growth of the history of like the culture, how it's changed.
So, you know, you highlight you were born in the 90s up in Hershey. Did you grow up in Lebanon your entire life?
I grew up in Lebanon. I lived in Lancaster for like a year and a half of my life.
Okay.
Kind of on and off, but mostly always Lebanon.
Gotcha. You went to Cedar Crest. Yep. I remember back in the day us playing against you guys and stuff like that. So went to Cedar Crest. You know, you graduated 2010, right? Same year, right?
2010,
Yeah. So graduated same year.
Yeah, we were always like linked through friends.
Yes.
Felix, Seth, all these guys, so we all knew
the boys back in the day, man. We used to run around a lot, you know, and again, you know, I'm very open about like I did some mischievous things.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were young and
transparency is important for people that have found success, because if we're not transparent about what we've done in the past, people are going to think that you have to live perfectly to get to here.
And that's the complete
it's not
opposite.
true.
Yeah,
You have to do all that grimy
Trial and
stuff.
error.
Yeah.
We go through our own trial and errors, and we learn from our mistakes. Now we pass the torch down to the younger generations, and then we hope they do the same as well.
And you know what's, for me, it's wild to like, I used to think like, and I, you know what I mean, I'm admitting it is like, I would think like, oh, I'll never be like that guy, or what, you know what I mean? 30 is so long from now, like,
right.
I'll be doing this or doing that, and then, you know, reality hits, and it's like, I'm 32 now.
You
it's
blinked.
like, oh man, I'm that guy, you know what I mean? And I don't want the younger generation thinking that way, which again, it's natural. Like when you're young, you're invincible.
Yeah,
man. You'll do what you can do.
Time
anything,
isn't
and
even a thing.
There's no true responsibility, you know, for, you know, I know you have a daughter. How old is she?
13.
13. So Eli's 11. Like having a, you know, child in your, you know,
Yeah, I
before
had
21.
I had a kid at 18, so it immediately like made me.
You gained
and
responsibility.
I want to be a good father in this life. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because my grandfather, he led me with that idea, and it's just I understood what having a strong role model, a male role model in your life does.
for sure.
And I wanted to be that.
And it's always good to have both females and males.
Oh, of course.
Because
Of course.
everybody brings different levels to it. But so you graduated 2010, which you had your daughter like immediately then?
I found out that her mom was pregnant literally the week of senior week, so she was born that November, so a couple months later.
Gotcha. How was that? You know what I mean? Taking that in, you just graduated high school. You know what I mean? You had your daughter. Like, what was going through your head?
Just a surreal moment, basically, like, because I never knew what I wanted to be in this life. Even now, like R&B Cafe, it's derived from the moments of not knowing what you wanted to be. And I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew I had to be something for my daughter.
Yeah.
Something for her to look up upon. Because in the Bible it says, like, it's your responsibility as a father to leave an inheritance to your children's children.
Mm-hmm.
That, it means money, like it means a house, things like that, but it means lessons.
Yes. I was going to
Like-
say,
like my grandfather-
less material things and more spiritual.
Exactly,
and
It's more
learning.
like sure, my grandfather, he worked hard, and he passed away August 1st, it'll be 5 years since he passed. And that's the birthday of this place is August 1st, because I wanted to bring life to a day that was always
that is
known.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's why I was so, like, you saw what I was like.
Yeah.
It took me 2 months to paint, but I was set on August 1st, because I wanted to bring life to it, a moment that was
Special.
and he was the reason basically for my love of cooking for food, and he taught me all that, and just the life lessons he taught me of hard work and waking up at 3:30 in the
So I
morning.
want to dive on that cooking. So like the past, let's say, graduating 2010, so we're 14 years later.
Yeah,
What?
it's crazy to even say that.
What? Yeah. I know. I know, right? Doesn't that sound wild? Like we've been out of high school,
And we
for
missed our
14
10
years.
year because of COVID.
Yeah. Oh man, COVID. Dude, COVID has been brought up in every single interview we've done.
Dude, it's a pillar point
it's
of
a
life.
life-changing.
I mean,
event.
that was when my life changed really, because I went through like some legal things.
Yep.
And it's like it can always go back to that because it's a decade year too. It's 2020.
Yep.
So like it's a good
It's
time.
pivotal. Like I look at COVID as similar to, like every decade you have like a monumental thing that affects everybody. Like you have 9/11, then you had 08, which was two things in one decade.
Yeah, it's
then
like where were you in that moment?
Then you
remember.
kind of have like 2010 to 2020, and then all of a sudden 2020 was like,
And it didn't matter who you were in the world.
nope, it affected
Old,
you.
young, rich, poor. COVID hit you somehow.
Yeah, so, you know, for the past 14 years, what were you doing? Like, what led you to this cafe, man? You know, you just talked about cooking and stuff like that. Give us some background on that.
Well, I wasn't a good student growing up in school. Like, I got decent grades and stuff, but I was the student that did talk back to the teachers, not doing his homework, skipping school whenever he wants, doing whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking outside the box all the time. Like, I knew I didn't want to be a worker for everybody for my whole life. You know what I mean? I realized there was other ways. It's like, how do you get rich in this life? In many ways, not just monetarily, but like the people that are rich in this life, they're doing what they were designed to do, not go work in a factory somewhere. You know what I mean? So I knew I didn't just want to be a cookie cutter piece in school. I knew it. So when I had my daughter, I always thought, see, my daughter has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So and we knew that like a month after she was born. So I always thought, I was like, well, we don't know how bad it's going to be. So I need to develop something where I can create a job for her. You know what I mean? And it was just like, okay, I love food. And I was working in restaurants at the time. So I was always around the food industry. So I wanted to open a food truck just because I didn't even picture a brick and mortar being a reality somehow. I wanted to start with like a small step as a food truck. And it's just like that idea just kept evading. It kept evading and pushing back over the years. Something would always come up.
So you had this idea for years?
For years, bro. Since I always wanted a food truck, even before they became like real popular.
Yeah.
I saw
food
the writing.
truck used to be a really like, I'll say it's way more prominent now, but I remember growing up, food truck was very niche.
Like, and because you couldn't put them anywhere.
Yeah.
Now it's like
niche.
there's food truck festival every weekend.
Yeah, very, very niche, and it was only ever at like specific events.
Yes.
Like I worked for Ciro's, so like we had.
It was almost like if you have a food truck, it's because you can't afford a restaurant.
Yeah, it was.
It's how it was looked at. Now it's like food truck. Damn, you're killing it.
Yeah, food truck. It's wild for you to point that out. Like I remember because I worked for Ciro's and we had the Ciro shop, but he had the trailers. You know what I mean? And he had like 4 or 5 trailers.
Yeah, you just show up anywhere with those.
Yep, we had 3 of the I think it was three of the Italian ice ones, and one was like where it was like cooking. So
yeah, I remember those. You go to fairs and you get Ciro's Italian ice.
Yep, and then you could grab a burger and a hot dog if it was a big enough event. Like that's how he always played it. But so you had that idea for that's a you know what I mean
for over a decade.
Yeah,
for over a decade.
A decade now.
And me and my daughter, we were talking about it for like I said, a decade. I've had full blown. My daughter's 13, but I've been having full blown conversations with her.
That's cool that she got to share that with you.
Yeah, and it's gonna come to be one day. She's obviously still too little. Like it was crazy because the way it all panned out is like she was helping me here set it all up, and I was just telling her, I was like, Addie, we kind of skipped a step. I was like, we searched for something for so long, and it kept evading, and I couldn't understand. Like I always say evading because I was chasing it.
Yeah.
When you chase it, it runs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it was like
it's like a deer. You know what I mean?
didn't focus on myself and my mind and create the situation where it would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then over time, like COVID happened in 2020, which my life like literally flipped 180 on me, and I just really tapped into who I wanted to be. Like I had conversations with God basically in my attic, literally bawling my eyes out like a baby, bro. Just this can't be what you have for me, God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's got to be more to this, and if you can place me in, and this is my prayer to this day, every day for years, if you place me in a position where I can provide for everyone in the ways that you've provided for everyone, I'll use my time and my life to honor you in every way. And it was just like when I made those steps and I started waking up every day at 4:30 in the morning, going to the gym at 5, and just like really locking in and changing my whole mentality. And I got a job at the Bluebird.
Yep.
And I started. Nobody else wanted to work because COVID. Everybody was just cool sitting at home getting checks. So after 3 months of sitting at home with COVID, I was like, nah, bro, I got to go to work.
Yeah.
So when everybody was calling off, I was working, picking up their shifts. I was
bro,
working.
you always work. You were always a hard worker.
Yeah,
man.
I was working.
Always.
I was working 60, 70 hours a week at the Bluebird.
Yep.
No joke. But it placed me in a position where I was able to do this, and nobody
Yeah.
could understand it. They were like, why don't you take a break, bro? Go on vacation. Go buy something for yourself.
Yeah.
Go do something out. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm focused. You know what I mean? I got the vision.
It's awesome to hear that, and like me and Mike, we experienced the same thing. I want to like COVID was a really
grinders.
horrible time for a lot of people. Me personally, it was one of the greatest times for at least me, and I'm pretty sure you can share the same
I had
thing.
to buckle down and just focus on the business.
You know.
Again, you built really good habits during COVID, and that transitioned into.
Well, it transformed everybody.
Oh, for sure.
But it was your choice how it transformed
Yes,
you.
yeah.
It's just like trials and tribulations in life.
Yep.
You can use it and piss and moan in the corner and complain for
Yep.
5 years, and your life ain't going to get better. But you can be like, nah, that happened, but I'm going to make this happen.
Because the thing that happened, it was uncontrollable.
Yeah.
For sure.
And like
Especially
the
that,
biggest
The
struggle
only thing you can control is your action.
Yeah.
is
right?
you
So
yourself.
you can either, like you said, sit at home, complain, or pick up a new hobby.
Yeah,
I
Or
was-
learn
work-
something.
yeah.
when-
Dude, a lot of people-
time on your hands.
When
A
we
lot
couldn't
of
work for all
people.
those weeks, me and my daughter and my cousin built a garden. I was outside in the yard
That's
grounding
cool.
every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
We were like just in my yard. Thankfully, I have a nice sized yard, so we could actually still get out the house.
Yep, yeah.
And I was really tapping in. Like nowadays, I don't even listen to music. Like the music that you hear here is the only time I listen to music. I listen to motivational speakers.
Yeah.
The Jim Rohns, the Earl Nightingales, the Les Browns of the world, and they really helped shape parts of me. And I collectively see. I view like humanity as a collective, and you can pull from everybody. Like both of you pull from everybody.
That's
you
that's
guys
Sal
know-
back there, by the way.
Yeah, right. The man behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But you guys know
Substitute
something that I
for
don't.
Lex.
Yeah, right.
But no, totally understand what you're saying. Is like I always go back to Steve Jobs with the iPhone and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, and the computer. Like the personal, if you go way back in his career, of like the personal computer was already there.
Yeah.
He took that idea and put his own sauce to it.
Yeah.
He made it his own. Same with that. Like when the iPod came out.
Yeah, nobody could even
the
dreamt of the
MP3 was
touchscreen.
already there. It was mass produced. He just took it and made it what he thought was the best thing.
Yeah.
He didn't start the idea. He didn't come up with the idea. He just made the idea better. And that's literally where, like, we love to just soak in, and do like doing this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
we get to sit with
Yeah,
business
you learn-
owners
dude,
from all different
That's what's so
walks
cool
of
because
life.
I have the bar over there, and it's like you've been part of the conversations sometimes, bro. I have life changing conversations where I can talk about what I'm passionate about every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are talking about what they're passionate about every day. When you're doing that, you cannot lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. You know what I mean? Because
It's
you're
happiness.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing Steve Jobs always said. Don't teach your kids how to be happy. You know what I mean? Like that's success. You know what I mean? Because then they don't put an amount to it. Because happiness is abundant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Yeah,
how
there's
much you
happiness
can
for
make.
everyone here.
Yep. So
He has one sec about Steve Jobs
Yeah.
quick too. He has a saying where he says, you have to be passionate about what you do because if not, it will get too hard to complete it.
yeah.
And that's with anything, you know what I mean? Like going to sell a house. If you don't want to do it, there's gonna be so many damn obstacles.
Oh, dude.
You know how many, every morning when I wake up, there's 50 obstacles that almost want to stop me from coming.
Yep.
Yep.
But I drive through it.
But you
and
love it.
It takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So COVID happened. You really buckled down. You put in the work. You're talking about a decade of dream and aspiration. And then how many years have you been open now?
August 1st will be 2 years.
August 1st will be 2 years. So 2 years ago, it's about 2.5 to 3 for me for acquiring the building.
You handed me the keys June 1st.
Yep. Yeah. So
And then I took June and July.
And
to
it took
paint.
us-
My sister painted up the place,
We-
machines.
probably bought this place in February of that year, I believe. And it was a bumpy road. I'm not gonna lie. Like this building had some obstacles on our end. We took it to the zoning hearing board because upstairs there's a massive apartment upstairs.
I know, I
Massive.
haven't even seen it.
Dude, it's 4 bedrooms. At the time, it was 4 bedrooms, 2 full bath, 1,800 square foot apartment. It's massive. So
It's still one apartment?
it's still one apartment.
Yeah.
We took a zoning hearing board, and they declined us because I wanted to convert it into.
Yeah, they don't want you to split things anymore, right?
No, and my whole thing is I probably could have done 2, and for some reason we submitted for 3, for 2 on the second floor and 1 on the third floor. Cause dude, it's massive. I mean, it's massive.
Condo.
No, it's basically a house, dude.
Yeah.
It's a monument.
I
park
was
house.
at yep, and that's so I was at vacation. Long story short, they declined it. I was super upset. But what I've learned is that like whatever happens for reasons that you don't know. Yeah. So did the renovations, and there was I'm not going to name names, but there was another individual who wanted to put a coffee shop here, and we tried working through it and everything else like that. It just didn't pan out the way it was supposed. Like
I view it as God saved this spot for me. Bro.
Yeah, and
it's
that's where
I had to develop first.
Yes.
For it to come about. If he would have gave it to me at 18 when I wanted it, I would have dropped the bag.
Yeah. So that was like for me on my end of things, which is wild to think that we have like this. You have one perspective, I have another.
There was a
perspective.
time where you were at the Bluebird. You might have even been with him, and I was your bartender.
Yeah.
Because I bartend, but I would take
By
tables
the
too
bar.
at the same time.
Yeah.
By the bar,
Yep.
right? And you looked at me.
Yeah.
And you knew I was on this motivational stuff and the workout
Yeah.
stuff, and you were like, "Bro, you should open something."
Yeah.
You were like, "You need to start a business." And I was like, "Yo, I'm thinking about it, bro." You know what I mean? And then
Why do you say that?
Yeah. And then you got this spot, and you're like,
You hit me up immediately.
well, you kind of posted it, and you're like, "Yeah, I got this spot coming up for for the public soon. Hit me up about the details. I hit you up like that day.
No, literally, like, I mean.
And mind you, I was on house arrest at the time. I wasn't
Yeah.
even supposed to be leaving my house. But it was just like, I had to. You know what I mean? It was worth the risk of getting in trouble for it. I was like the day that you handed me.
If your
in
PO's
February,
watching, you know what I mean?
No, they're good. They know all they know all this story, and they're
probably
they
so
support
happy.
Me. They support me.
Yeah, they're
They
so
support
happy
me.
that, you know what I mean? Because the system does suck, and like, truly deep down, because we have some friends that are, you know, POs and stuff like that. They don't want to see you again.
No, they probably think it's a beautiful thing to see people make something of
like
themselves
you
out
can't.
of it.
You were under house arrest, and look at you now. You're a business owner. You're very prominent in the community. That's another thing, dude. You're always doing.
Yeah, like when we had that first original meeting about this place in February.
Yep.
Because things kept pushing back because of like med ed and stuff.
Yeah,
and, like,
we
putting
had
boxing.
again the obstacles of owning real estate, man. It always takes twice as long and costs twice as much.
Yeah, right. But
So-
even that, it panned out how it was supposed to, the way it just needed to. You know
Well,
what I mean?
and I think it worked out too, because like you said, you had time to develop, you had time for ideas.
Yeah.
So that was going to be, you know, now it's 2 years ago, right? You hit me up immediately. The day I posted it and said, hey, we have a spot coming up, because I was really always big for commercial spaces, because commercial space sometimes is difficult letting them to fill. It is. At the end of the day, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, there's a lot of empties. I mean,
there's a
this
lot-
place was empty.
This was
for
empty
all those years.
for decades,
Yeah.
decades. So I wanted to get ahead of the curve and just throw it out there before we even really got too far into renovation, so I could understand like what was going to be in here. You hit me up right away, and I was like, dude, what? And then what you told me when you said the cafe, I was like, dude, it's so wild. Like the guy that we were trying to make this work for wanted a cafe.
Well, the floor was still taped up for it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
measurements.
We had met the previous client, and they, you know, we had it all laid out for him. Like we did tape. He was set. We had renderings, all this other stuff. So it is wild to think that like you hit me up and because I didn't know. I knew you wanted to do something, and I knew as soon as you hit me up,
Bro, I can see my yard from here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like when I'm standing in my backyard, bro, I can see this place. It's
awesome.
like it's crazy. I walk here in the morning. It's like it's meant to be. You know what I mean? If there was a movie written about like a local person that opens a cafe, it's like that's the type of story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird. When I was working at the Bluebird heavily and stuff, I just felt like I was really like I was making good money there. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of cash and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
I want to make this. I want it to
invest it.
Yeah, I want to invest it, but I don't want to just invest it into useless stocks that might disappear.
No, I
and
was
I
gonna
don't
say
know.
best investment is yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so cliche.
So what I started.
It's so cliche.
Yeah, it really is.
But
you know, with what you did during COVID, it's a proof of concept.
Yeah, it's a proven concept. And money depreciates, so you got to be careful how you do it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to just save forever.
Yeah.
But what I started to do is
you save for purpose.
For purpose.
That's where people laugh.
For
It's
purpose.
like saving isn't bad.
because I saw this thing. It was
There
like
has to be a reason.
It was like save all your $1 bills.
Okay.
Right? It was like save all your $1 bills, and at the end of the year you'll have a bunch of $1 bills. Save them all. So I was like, you know what? I'll save all my fives.
Dang.
So I started putting all my fives away for 2 years. Put all my fives away.
Dude, and as a bartender, dude, like at the Bluebird, like
Yeah,
you're making
that's a lot of
good,
fives.
yeah, dude, you're making
That's a lot
good
of fives.
money.
And there was sometimes where I would take my whole night pay from the night and
stash it.
and buy the fives. So I'd walk out of there with $300 worth in fives.
That's
And then I
awesome.
would go home because I already
Dude,
had
it's psychological
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Like you
It's
could have
like-
just put that money away, but you're like, no, it has to be a five.
It has to be fives.
to fit the parameter
It
of
has
what
to be
I'm
fives.
doing, so that my mind.
I have a video that came in my Snapchat feed. It comes up around this time every few years, but it's a big, huge wad of fives. And I'm talking about it. I said, guys, the power of consistency and what it can do. I said,
It gets you this.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what was crazy is that those whole 2 years, I didn't know what I was saving for. You know what I mean? But God, it was
You
like
knew.
it was for something.
It was like-
it was
yeah.
something purposeful, right? But I thought at the time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna convert my RV into a food truck.
I remember you telling me about that.
But what ended up happening, bro, is I saved for 2 years, and then I collected over 10 G's in $5 bills.
$10,000 in fives.
And
That is consistency, and that's just determination.
and that paid for exactly half of the renovations for the spot.
Yep.
Remember?
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
For the renovations, it was like $20K.
Yep.
And half of that was already paid with the fives that I had saved for 2 years.
That's wild.
And then, yes, and then those extra few months, man. Yeah, you should do it. It'll change your life. Not even because the amount.
Just visualize that.
Like like
2005, right?
It's a lot of fives,
Yeah,
bro.
it's- yep.
It was literally in a rubber band like this big, a brick. I showed up at Lebanon Federal Credit Union, and they looked at me like, thankfully they're my friends that work there.
Yeah.
But they would
have quite. They were like, what
Well,
are you
I had,
doing?
I had
What
like
is going on?
I showed up with a book bag, duffel bag, straight from my house.
Yeah.
With
Oh, God.
with a lot of fives
That's
like
a
this.
story.
Yeah, and mad ones. And like if I didn't know who it was, they would have thought I was a drug dealer or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, doing some shady.
But they knew I was a bartender, and it made sense.
Yep.
And plus I was getting the business, or not a business loan, but I was getting my business bank account the same day. See, I'm on probation. I couldn't even get a business loan. I had to become my loaner. I had to become my bank.
Yeah.
The reason I had to save all that money is because they basically look at you like you're, I don't want to say worthless, but it's like,
It's
and
statistics.
it makes sense.
It's statistics.
Well, it makes
man.
sense because the chances of you reoffending and not being able to pay back your loan are extremely high.
Well, it's like credit. People don't realize that life events affect your credit also. Like they think it's all like, oh, if I don't pay someone. No, like divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce really affects your credit.
Divorce
if you
can really
have
do.
any criminal charges, like because it's all public knowledge, it affects their algorithm so in depth that like personal life things affect it because statistically speaking,
why
like
would a
you
bank
said,
give you a house loan when you got all these charges and you might go to
and
go
don't
to
get me
jail?
wrong, I think it to a point is somewhat wrong.
Well, it's
but-
messed up because the system is supposed to rehabilitate, but then when
Yes.
you come out and you're rehabilitated, they don't help you.
Yes, and that's where it's like, I understand if you take the emotion out of it and just base off a piece of paper of like, okay, well, how many?
But that's how business is.
How many offenders?
It's gotta be emotion
Yeah, no,
removed.
and that's where people struggle with, and like it's really cool for you to say, you know what, screw the system.
Well, I realized I was like, you know what? Because I'm a type of person that's like, if it's not going to work how it's supposed to work, and it's supposed to happen for you, it will happen for you.
Exactly.
And you might have. I always say like, I couldn't go to a bank for money, so I became the bank with money. And I didn't know why I was saving those fives, but it turned out why I was saving those fives.
Yeah.
And then I walked in to this place, and it was like, I bought all the equipment. I bought all the equipment.
Yeah.
I don't owe anybody.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
So like, I have a whole cafe. Sure, I owe like some credit card stuff and things like that, but I don't owe fees on my equipment.
Yep.
I don't have to pay you each month for the fucking
Yep.
renovations.
Yep.
Heck, I had a whole arcade
Yeah, because
built.
we did talk about doing some type of like payment structure, and you were like, nah, like I'm gonna pay it. And it was like, dude, okay, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Because the way I viewed it, it's just an extra money. If you have the money, spend the money.
Yeah, it was a one-time thing. So yeah, when we agreed to everything, and you helped, like he designed basically the the cafe himself.
Great.
We just did the work, and then we did that, and then I know you were still working at the Bluebird for a while, I thought, right?
When I opened this spot, I was working at the Bluebird till October of that same year. So October 2022.
Yeah, dude, that's so wild.
And then
2
some
years
stuff
now.
happened there, and that's a whole side story of that.
Long story short,
Not
dude,
worth getting
it all
into.
worked out.
But
the
it
way
all
was
did
supposed
work
to.
out the way it was supposed to, because I couldn't have given
Dude,
this
his
place
story
what
is
it
similar
needed.
how your story was. You know what I mean? Of like
Yeah.
he was still working.
I was juggling both jobs still.
Well, I
Yeah.
saw your thing, your resignation, John.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
I still-
Where was
I
the
still-
jo-
I
what
still
was
have
the
that
job?
safe. I was working at the distribution center in Bethel.
Yeah.
PetSmart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
weekend shift, right?
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's such an extreme choice.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
such
it was
like
rough.
imagine
Yeah, it's
leaving
terrifying.
imagine leaving a bartending job where it's like, as much as I was working, I made on paper, like if you're already taking it, I made over $100,000
No, dude,
from bartending.
I worked at
But it
Hershey
took
Park.
crazy work. But it's like I left that job or that industry to just put all the faith into my ability.
to make the $100,000, and when you own a business, people fail to realize that like $100,000, like when another business is paying you $100,000, right,
Yes.
for your working, is $100,000.
Yes, I don't have to show up and invest in it. It just
The
comes. to me.
$100,000 in a business is not $100,000.
Yeah, now
You
if
know
I
what
make
mean?
$100,000 in the business, well, I just gave $70,000 back to inventory.
Yeah,
and,
yep,
You know what I mean? It's
exactly,
just-
exactly. So we got, you gave us the whole, background and everything, which was amazing. Like, I really believe if someone watches, they're going to be inspired. Like, this is probably one of the most inspiring
Well, this is my goal in life.
interviews we've
because-
had so far. Like, don't get me wrong, like, all of the interviews that we've done have been fantastic, and everybody has gone through hardships, but you've always been prominent on inspiring people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and getting them up and getting them motivated and stuff like that. So now we're here, 2024. Give us a lowdown of what you got going on. You know what I mean? You were telling me earlier you got a couple different avenues and stuff like that. Give us your time.
there's really a
hours.
lot going on. It's
Yeah.
like just with the cafe overall, we host a lot of public community events. We had the Easter egg hunt at the park for the second year.
Which was massive.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Like,
Massive.
and the community is so beautiful with this place. Like, I can't even tell you how many people have donated to this cafe for no reason other than just the fact that they want to help people.
Yeah.
That's why when people talk crap on Lebanon or they say this or that and the negativity, I won't stand for it. I rebuke it basically because I've seen it with my own eyes. People come into that door.
The good people.
That don't come to this town. They live outside of the town or they live in the suburbs and they come in just because they want to help the kids.
Yeah.
There's magic to that. You know what I mean? And it's like somehow that wasn't happening for years, and it just seems like it's crazy how this place has transcended beyond a cafe.
Yeah. You've been
Like,
a catalyst to it.
Yeah. Thank God, but the football coach, Lebanon football team hasn't won in like 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So they got a new football coach. He came in with his wife. We chatted up. He brought the whole football team in here just for me to give them lunch and stuff, but then to give a speech at the end.
Yeah.
To like help inspire the community and to bring community together.
Well, that's where I think where like Lebanon sports and shout out to all the coaches. At the end of the day, man, being a coach is tough.
Yeah.
Win or lose, you know what I mean? And I think where Lebanon has always struggled is community. Is like, you know, because you have so many people that are saying, oh, Lebanon's not this, Lebanon's not that.
Yeah, just togetherness.
And I can
like,
speak
you know
for it because I went to Lebanon. You know what I mean? Like, and it is frustrating. Like, you know,
it's always felt like us versus them.
Yes, everywhere, all the time.
Everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter if it's this side of the street and that side of the street, or
which
this
is
group
weird
of friends
because
and
it's
that
like
group of friends,
we're
or
all
this
from
team.
Lebanon. It should be Lebanon versus everybody else.
Well, I even said it's like we need to get rid. I mean, Cedar Crest versus Lebanon rivalry is great, but right now it's not a rivalry. So what we need to make it is more of a partnership.
Yeah.
In a way where it's like, let's just build up the area for a while and make it prominent.
Well, dude, and also too, like, I love the idea, like, you know, Cedar Crest, Lebanon. You know what I mean? Lebanon Catholic, right?
Yeah. Oh wow,
Yeah,
we got
so-
all three of them.
Yeah, so like when you think about it, like we had friends everywhere, and I think that's what made the rivalry even better because
Yes.
it was like, I'm gonna destroy you on the court. You know what I mean?
But
And
we're
then-
gonna
and
hang
then
out this-
afterwards.
we're gonna hang
look
out.
at this guy.
Yeah.
He's 0-1, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, but then afterwards, then you go and hang out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or the next day, you're going and doing something. So
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. So tell them what's going on with the cafe right now. Like, give some, you know, items that you have, like what you provide and what your hours look like, and when can they come see you?
Yeah. Well, like I said before, we're located on 381 North 8th Street, right on the corner.
8th and Lehman,
Yeah, 8th and Lehman. Our hours right now are Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, Saturday, 9 to 3. Once school opens back up, we'll be open at 7 again.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
we
because
all,
the kids,
the kids
love
this
coming in
spot
here
the
before
morning.
school, man.
Yeah.
It's so cool driving.
Fun stuff.
Well, it sucks driving down Lehman during school hours because it gets so backed up. But
Yeah,
you
I
see like
suggest
kids
going another
literally
way.
piled up
Yeah.
outside, you know,
That's awesome.
to get in here and stuff like that.
But yeah, I offer paninis, smoothies. We got lean bays right now. We do a different cheesecake every week. Some say it's the
Which
best
we
in
had.
town.
Fantastic.
I just had it. One of the best cheesecakes I had.
Yes.
Just saying.
Amazing.
Not
Yeah, we
just-
got
not
blueberry
just 'cause
right
the
now.
camera's there,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's-
right.
it's
Yeah,
really good
amazing.
It's like I got a gun pointed behind your head.
No,
say
no,
the
if
cheesecake.
Mike says it's good, it's freaking good, man.
Oh, Mike says.
So what's the future look like? Let's dive a little bit into that and we can wrap up.
The future of this place, I expect it to expand overall as a company and just a movement, because I really view it as what's happening here is beyond business. Like
It's a
money,
lifestyle.
Yeah, money's cool and stuff, but I'm trying to really tap in and really help this culture understand it's like anything is possible. You can be the kid that wasn't shit
Yeah.
and become something. You know what I mean? And you can have negative thoughts and still be positive. You can change. And I want people to see that. So I want to always put my cafes in places that are needed the most.
So long term, you'd like to have multiple locations.
Yeah, multiple, because I expect this to become and grow over time
Yeah.
and spread out. Like I view it as like a spider's web or
Yeah.
a family tree. It just keeps growing.
I love it.
But as far as my journey, I'm going to be running for mayor next year in November.
Dang, that's a big. Okay.
Just because I feel like it's the next branch into what
Is this
I
your
can
first
accomplish.
announcement?
No, I've announced it before on Facebook.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, are we the first? Like, are we? Is this? You know what I mean?
Like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago and stuff. But I'm gonna make plenty of announcements and stuff.
Nice. Okay.
And I just think I can help so many people in so many ways, and I feel this is a great avenue towards it. But I'm on a journey across a river in a way, and it's like this is the first stepping stone, and then that will be the next one. But a way where I can impact the whole community is to really have like you can have people behind you. You know what I mean? You're not just some guy talking from a cafe. You can move things.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can. What better story for a kid growing up that doesn't believe in himself than to see a kid that lives in his same neighborhood doing it,
Yeah.
walking the streets every day, being positive. Like, it's not that I necessarily think I will be the best mayor in the world, but I think I can help more people that way. You know what I mean? And my whole journey, it's not to just be a good businessman. I feel like my purpose in this life is to inspire millions of people.
Yeah.
And like right now, we're inspiring thousands through the cafe page. We can inspire as the mayor tens of thousands.
Yeah.
What can transpire past that? Hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And I feel like if we just snowpile this down the hill, and you get more people and more kids involved, and just it becomes a mindset where this whole community can change and become another type of Lidditz, or a place where the community is there for each other.
Yeah, a place that people want to come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
where people aren't afraid to go to.
Yeah, that's... No,
and
we say the same thing through real estate. You know what I mean? We do the...
you guys understand property value. You don't want to have places lose property value, so you need safe neighborhoods.
Yeah, yep. And you don't want vacant properties, and we do have a large...
And it just became a thing where it's like, you ask enough people, and it seems like the system is like this form of a good old boys club in a way where it's like, you can't get in.
Yeah.
But you can, like I said, man, the bank won't give you a loan, become the bank.
Yeah.
The city won't listen, become a leader.
Yeah.
Help people.
Yeah.
I can sit and piss and moan in the corner, like I said, for a decade about how the city's not listening to us about the city and helping us out.
Yeah.
Or I can involve myself in it and become the change.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, man.
I love it, man.
That was good.
So we got full circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The past, the present, and the future. You have some
Future
big plans. Yeah, future mayor. So we're gonna wrap it up, man. Thank you for being on SBS.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Tell them where they can find
Appreciate
you.
Appreciate you, man.
How they can find you, how they can contact you, where they, all that information.
You can find us online, R&B Cafe, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. It's spelled out, A-R-E and B. Like, who are you? But who do you want to be?
Yeah.
Because everybody in this world, they're being told who they should be and who they are. But who do you want to be? Who are you?
That's how,
it's
I
up to
remember
you to
telling me
decide,
how
man.
you came up with the name.
And the truth is this company itself, R&B, started as a t-shirt company with my daughter. When COVID happened, we were locked in. We needed things to do. We needed hobby. We bought all the t-shirt machines, equipment, and we were making a t-shirt a day with a positive message every day. And I would work out in it with the idea of just becoming a better person and becoming better in my mind. And people started ordering shirts, buying shirts. So one day my daughter looked at me and she said, I skipped a step. People started buying shirts and stuff. It became a company. So I prayed on it. I said, God, I'm going to need a name for this company. Please speak to me. What should I call it? I don't want to just call it Vargas this and like make it personal about me. I want it to be something. And the next day, my daughter looked at me and she's like, Dad, who are you? But who do you want to be?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it clicked, man.
R&B.
It was like, it clicked.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, R&B, social media, we're always on there.
Yeah.
381 North 8th Street, Lebanon, PA.
Come in, get some coffee, get some smoothies.
Check it out.
What? Giveaway. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Okay, yeah. So thank you for being on this. As always, every business owner that we interview, we ask them to do a giveaway. Did you have a chance to come up with something that you're open to give away?
Give away free hugs at the cafe.
I love it.
Now I'll give away a $25 gift card and also free lean bay when you come in.
Look at that. Awesome. I love it. I love it. So to enter, follow both business pages, like the post, and comment 2 of your friends and share the post. So don't forget, we're doing this every week. So there's thousands and thousands of dollars of giveaways that these business owners are willing to do. And it's all about, collaboration over competition. That's what SBS is here for.
Yeah.
And Damian, we really appreciate you coming on here and being inspiring and things like that.
Great story.
We hope to see you guys in the cafe, and always thank you for the love and support. Again, make sure to like, follow, comment 2 people, and you get a chance to win the goodies. All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
See
brother.
you guys.
Thank you.
Take
That
care.
was awesome.
Thank you.